Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video, and boy do I have a lot of videos to do. I have, of course, this video, my Act 3 and 4 review, I've got to do my content list, and also I need to do my What They Missed video, which I will eventually get round to. As well as that, I really want to do a Season 3 prize track sort of, in total review. So, got a lot of videos, probably going to be releasing one a day at this rate, with the Walking Dead videos mixed in. I do apologise, I know most of you probably aren't here for them, but I really enjoy doing them. I'm kind of OCD with them now, so it is what it is. But anyway, today we're going to be reviewing both Act 3 and 4 of the Simpsons Tapped Out Hell on Wheels update. So, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Don't want to spend too much time on this one. We're just going to kind of go over it pretty quickly. Obviously, we'll review Act 3, review Act 4, talk about the premium stuff in between, and then at the end, I'm going to sort of talk about which one I think is the best of the acts. So here we have Act 3, which of course is called The Internet of Wheels. Now, I am pretty happy with this act. I think it is very solid, apart from one thing, and that's the fact that there's a NPC as the final prize, instead of what I think would be much better, of course, a full playable character. However, saying that, I want to talk about the NPC first. I'm going to sort of go out of order, just for a change. I really love this NPC a lot. I think it's, honestly, really goddamn awesome. It is just a car that goes on the road, but it's kind of like a landmark. And at first I was a little iffy on it, because I kind of saw, part of me kind of wanted this as like a decoration that had like an animation which allowed it to go on the road. I sort of would have preferred it maybe if they went around that way, But honestly, sort of thinking it over, kind of disagree with that now. I think, no, it makes sense. This is a smart car. It's meant to self-drive obviously in the context of the show. So it makes sense to me that it is an NPC. It's a sort of more unique NPC as well, of course, because it's basically, I guess it's basically a robot, to be honest. So that's really cool. I love it a lot. Love this one so much. Although I must add that, yes, it is kind of annoying that it is an NPC as a prize. I do think that is a downside. Anyway, let's go back to the first prize, which of course is the Yokel truck, which is Cletus's truck. Obviously, a very sort of important decoration to add in the game for sure. It's because Cletus's truck, we've seen him drive it a few times within the show, and also I'm pretty sure it was in the game, right? I think the game, Hit and Run, where I'm pretty sure there's a mission where you have to drive it. So very awesome that the Yokel truck is in the game. I think this one's deserving as well to be in the prize track, just because of how sort of significant it is. I mean, it's not tremendously significant, but you get what I mean. Anyway, next up, we've got the parking garage. This is another one that I absolutely adore. I think this one looks awesome. It's, pops out, it's scaled right. It's just a sort of cool extra building to have and to place in your town. So this one, I'm very happy with, for sure. Then we have, what do we have? We have the Duke Druffers Auto Dealing Billboard. Okay, this one is probably one of my least favorite things in the entire event. Just because, A billboard has to be like really, really awesome for me to sort of get a pass, and B, it's not really worth it to me. I don't think a billboard's like kind of worth a spot on the prize track. Now, obviously, back in Christmas, if you remember, they had them as like a 3-in-1 with the billboards. I think that would be an appropriate thing for them to do instead. But yeah, don't really like the billboard being like a separate prize. And then finally, obviously not finally, but finally in terms of the order I've decided to go in, we have the best building in this update by far, the Springfield Car Wash. I love this building so much. I think it's probably my favorite building of the year so far as well. It pops out so well. It looks cool, looks unique, easy to decorate. and it's free. Every sort of good thing you want in a building. So, not really much more to say. It is pure perfection to me. And just briefly, structure-wise, this was perfect. Apart from obviously having an NPC rather than a character, I really like the structure of this particular act. So, yeah, big thumbs up there. Obviously, the Act 3 premium was Anthony and Zora, or Antony. I think it's just Anthony, right? It's weird. I know there's a different spelling for Anthony, so I'm not 100% sure. Someone can correct me. I'm not a huge fan of their characters. I can't lie. Don't think their animations are that interesting. They're not terrible or anything. I just think they're a bit mediocre. The building they come with, though, is really nice. Pops out a lot, so I have to give credit there. Obviously, go check out my super premium, my premium gameplay if you want to sort of see more and hear my opinions in more depth. But that's my basic view of them. I think the characters are mediocre, but the building is really awesome. Then we have Act 4, the final act, which is, of course, entitled I, Robot Car. So, this act, I do think, is a bit of a disappointment, mainly because we get one building, and it is a bit of a disappointing building. It makes sense for the quest line. They do sort of tie it in, but, like, it kind of physical therapy, with the demolition derby and all that. So it kind of makes sense, I guess, but I don't know. It's just a weird sort of final prize to me. I don't think it makes tons of sense, but I am slowly coming around to this. I mean, it does kind of make the quest line a bit better, like sort of comparing it to some older quest lines where it feels less loose. It feels like a progressive way to add this building in. Where if it was sort of thrown into the middle of the prize track, it might not have worked. But then, I don't really care that much about the questline. I don't know about you guys. It's like the least important thing to me, personally. I mean, I like to sort of take into consideration, but it is the least important thing to me, if I'm not going to lie. So anyway, let's start it off. So the first prize is, of course, Mrs. Pennyfeather. Now, this was a random character who I think really was a bit poorly tied into the game. I can't lie. It was a bit loose. And I think she's an okay character. Don't get me wrong. She's, of course, from the Mary Poppins parody episode. Yeah, I think she's okay. She has got some cool animations, so I'll give her that. And not really much more to say about her, but just a really weird inclusion into this event. Possibly the weirdest, one of the weirdest inclusions in any event, to be honest. Miss Pennyfeather, Jesus. Anyway, next up we got Mike Slice's pizza truck. I like it, it's a cool enough decoration, but people have mentioned that the actual guy who runs this has not been added with it, which is very strange. And I can agree with that, that is strange. Very odd they would decide to add this and not add the actual guy, especially when they could have added anything, any other sort of stall or food truck of any description. You could add like Marge's pretzel wagon and sort of, because that's a car after all, and sort of tie it in and say, hey, Marge is, selling pretzels for some time. Yeah, anything really. Then we got the Simpsons Derby car, which is a repeat decoration, and something I forgot to mention in my Demolition Derby thing with the no helmet debris is the actual Springfield Demolition Derby track is a repeat as well. It looks different obviously, which is good, but it is meant to be the same building, which is very strange that they decided to do that. It's kind of like they retroactively realized that the Demolition Derby they originally added was kind of crappy, and then they decided to be like, okay, maybe we'll add like another one that looks better, and you can buy seats and kind of decorate it, which I appreciate the fact they've kind of done that, but it kind of is a bit weird. And this car obviously appears on that old Demolition Derby, and now it's added as a separate decoration, which is just really odd. It feels kind of lazy, but also feels like they are trying to like retroactively fix what they did. But then it's not like they didn't add the Springfield Derby into this update. They did re-release it, so I don't know. The whole thing's odd. The Derby souvenir stand, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty disappointing. Don't care for it too much. And then finally, Springfield's physical therapy. I mean, it's just a standard building. It looks very similar to the Parasite House, to be honest. I'm okay with it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. That's all I'm gonna say. Then we got No Helmet Debris, who of course, or Debray, Gene. We got Gene, and Gene of course comes with that Demolition Derby track I was talking about, which I do think is a repeat. I don't know how to feel about it, because part of me kind of doesn't mind it too much, but part of me also thinks maybe, I don't know, it's weird. If it was like an older version of the building, then I wouldn't be so bothered by it. You know, like say if they decided to add like an older version of the Quickie Mart, or like, maybe that could be kind of cool, but adding basically the same building from, I'm pretty sure, the same episode, but just like a different style, it's just odd. But the character-wise, I think he's cool. I like him a lot. I think he's got some okay animations. His quest line was kind of funny as well. So yeah, I was happy enough with Gene. I think the characters have been pretty good this entire update, to be honest, for the most part. So yeah, I'm happy enough with him. Big thumbs up. Turns out this video is longer than I wanted it to be. Anyway, briefly, let's wrap up. So, I think the best act out of these particular two is obviously gotta be, despite having a NPC, it's gotta be Act 3. I'm coming around a little to the sort of structure of Act 4, but I don't know, something about Act 4 in particular sort of really rubbed me the wrong way, so wasn't too big on the structure of Act 4. I think Act 2 was obviously Act 2 was fine because the Duffman was the final prize, and you know you had that pretty cool building, Springfield Auto Show. Despite it being a bit similar to a previous building, I still think it was okay. Plus the valet booth I really liked, and the food truck graveyard, although I do think it maybe could have been a building. I think it had building potential, although I'm not going to hark on it too much. I think Act 2 was okay. Act 1 was pretty solid, but obviously Billy wasn't like in the right place. If they maybe switched that around, it is difficult, because then Act 1 did give us, you know, Billy, who I think is a really cool character, and two buildings, and the auto yard, which probably should have been a building, but kind of is a very cool decoration. So do you know what? I'm going to say the best act for me was probably Act 1, followed very closely by Act 3, then followed by Act 2, and then finally Act 4 is in last place. Yeah, I think it is very close though, because part of me kind of, because the parking garage as well was 2. But then Billy is a playable character. Yeah, I'll stick with that. Act 1 was the best. Act 2 was second best, but it's a very close second. So anyway, that's my opinions. Let me know yours, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.